The STEM Society.
What's happening, people? My name is Cole Jackson. This is the STEM Society. Welcome back. We got a few things on the docket this week. There's a little bit of hate and debate about this newest complex list. They just released the top 100 songs out of LA, and you can only imagine how the internet is reacting to it. There is a podcaster that you all know and love who had a lot to say about the top 5. We'll get to that story later on in the episode. Right now, I wanted to dive into what's going on in this Yella Beezy case.
The past 2 days of testimony has centered around a key theme. Can a rapper's song lyrics be used as evidence? In this case, evidence of an alleged murder for hire by Dallas rapper Yella Beezy and the death of fellow rapper Mo3. The murder of Mo3, whose legal name is Melvin Noble, happened back in 2020. Yella Beezy, whose legal name is Marquise Conway, is accused of organizing the murder for hire. Detective Eric Barnes testified that throughout the feud between the rappers, Yella Beezy allegedly said in a song that he put a bounty on the head of Mo3.
Now, there are 3 songs that the prosecution wants to use against Mo3 to put him away or help them with their case. Now, they pointed to these songs: Hitters, Keep It in the Streets, and On Your Head. Now, they're telling the court that those 3 songs in particular has details on how he was putting a price on Mo3's head. The debate online is whether or not we should be using, or the courts should be using, rappers' lyrics against them to be able to put them in jail. Now, let's look at the history behind that really quick before we dive into opinions. If you go back to Bobby Shmurda's trial, Bobby Shmurda, his song Hot Niggas had a lot of implications of what he was doing in the streets. Now, if you ask the courts, they would say that they didn't use his song Hot Niggas against him. But when you read the documents, they unofficially used a lot of the things he said in that rap song to put him away. That was probably one of the biggest reasons why he went to jail for so long, amongst other things. So I'm not going to sit up here and say the prosecution didn't do their job, because they had some other things on him when that case came about. But one of the biggest reasons why he went to jail or prison was because of Hot Niggas as well, unofficially. So, you could say that was one of the times where using lyrics kind of worked in the court's favor. But then you fast forward to the Young Thug Rico trial. Now, for a lot of people who don't know, the prosecution found 9 songs that they wanted to use, and they did use as evidence against Young Thug to put him away for, I think it was 20 years, if I'm not mistaken. 20 years. Of course, they played a lot of the music in the courts, and we seen what the outcome was. Young Thug never went to do any of that time. He's got a really strict probation, give or take what you want to use as strict, and things worked out more in his favor than anything else. And I think a lot of that had to do with is because people stepped up and testified and said, yo, rap lyrics are subjective. These artists are just expressing themselves. I had put together a list of stuff. I wrote a lot of notes to kind of see if I could sway people into my side. I'm just being real right now. This is a really very transparent moment. And I was like, well, this is a point. This is a point. This is a point. And instead, I actually just want to speak from the heart and from the head when it comes to this, because I don't like the fact that people want to use art to put other people in jail. Reason being is because, one, your job as the prosecution is to use whatever police evidence or whatever real investigating happened to be able to put these people away. Hip hop is supposed to be an expression of where you come from. It's supposed to be an expression of what you've seen. It's supposed to be an expression of how you feel when it comes to the moment or growing up from what you came from, all this other stuff. I know that Yella Beezy and Mo3 didn't have the best relationship. It was a hardcore beef between both of these guys. Completely understand it. I still feel like using lyrics against a person to put them away for 20 or 40 years doesn't add up to me. Why? Because we know now, we've peek behind the curtain and we know that niggas lie on their shit all the time. I don't know what's real and what's true anymore when it comes to music. Unless you one of the newer artists, and the newer artists just sit up here and flaunt it in your face. They'll go dance on somebody's grave. And that might not be so real. You know what I'm saying? And I'm actually not even going, I'm off script right now. But the fact that y'all want to put somebody's life in the hands of art doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It really feels like that's the laziest and probably one of the more racist things to do. Well, racism is taking it a bit far, but a lot of people use hip hop to relay what they seen growing up, what they see currently in society, what they see in the neighborhood. Now, was Yella Beezy doing that? I don't know. I didn't dig deep into his music or his catalog enough to say, oh, he's really trying to help the community with what he's telling, what he's seeing. I can't say that. But what I can say is there's a lot of people in hip hop who use that art form for that reason. If we start saying, well, we're going to use whatever you say in this art form against you to make sure you go to jail, then what do we have left? Right? What good is it to be able to do music if you can't express yourself? And I'm just trying to keep it real with y'all right now. A lot of this stuff, man, is so subjective. I don't think that you can play certain rap songs to people who are in the juror's box and they'll be like, oh, I get it. They're going to quickly say, oh, he's bad because of his lyrics. That's like saying, oh, I'm bad because I have locks or I like to wear sneakers or whatever the case may be. I just want prosecution or these lawyers to start doing the work. Use whatever the police have been doing. Use whatever evidence you can scrounge up outside of music to get your case to prosecute these people. I just feel like it's a lazy way out when you use lyrics. It is. And it never really, you're using a concept that may or may not work. It's hit or miss, regardless of what you may think. Right now, we live in a world where everybody wants to go viral and they want to have quick success. So people are willing to say or do anything on a microphone to be able to get that. What makes you think that any of the stuff that a lot of these rappers nowadays are saying is real? It's just too many variables there, man. It's too many situations where a nigga could just be saying anything out of just crazy, wild stuff out their head. And next thing you know, you can go to jail for it. Doesn't that sound archaic? Doesn't that sound like some type of like, I don't even know the word for it, but it just feels bad. It feels like we are fucking ourselves over to be able to say, I got this guy. Finally, he's going to prison. Put him away. And then we find out later on that all of this stuff was fabricated. I'll leave the ball in your court. What do you think? Do you think lyrics should be used to put people away for the rest of their lives? Or do you think that the justice or the legal system should do something else or think of another way to be able to prosecute a lot of these people? Let me know down in the comments. Let's move on to something fun for a little bit. Complex just dropped their top 100 songs out of LA. And I gotta be honest, I think it's full of shit. So of course, Complex had to capitalize on the game and YG Versus coming up really soon. And they just said, hey, we need to put out a list of top 100 LA songs so people can be excited about the Versus. And they can also come to our website and see what we think about LA and California. So I checked out the list. And let me tell you, the shit is kind of, it's kind of fucked up and shitty. I really didn't understand a lot of their choices throughout the whole list. And then I was like, well, let me just check out their criteria. So when I went to go read what their criteria is, they didn't have any. That's mistake number one. There's no criteria here at all. They didn't post nothing. They posted some paragraphs to just make some jokes and say, hey, California and LA and OJ. Of course, they had to stick OJ in there. But there's something else that I read that didn't make a lot of sense to me either. They basically refreshed and updated a list from 2012. They took a list from 2012 and just updated it. No new list, no nothing. They didn't want to sit down and put their heads together to try to figure out 100 new songs because ain't nothing changed since 2012, right? So you gotta be, that's why the list looks so shitty and stupid to me, because it don't even look updated. Well, they did update it. They updated one song. We'll get to that in a second. But how can I sit up here and say this list is valid when you niggas didn't even sit down to refresh the list, not even refresh it, to make a new list? A lot of shit has happened between 2012 and 2026. Now, maybe I read the whole thing wrong, but when you literally said this is an update from 2012, that tells me everything I need to know about how seriously you guys took this list, right? So, of course, after I see the list, after I see all the criteria, so on and so forth, I peruse the internet to say, what are people saying about this list? I gotta know. And the first thing that popped up on my timeline was Maul from Rory Mal, and you can only imagine the type of hate he was spewing.
Number 5, Not Like Us, Snoop Dogg.
Wait. You see what I'm saying, Complex?
I'm tired.
I'm just saying, though, 5? It hasn't been 5 years. And it's number 5 out of 100 all-time LA songs?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
I think
It broke every fucking record.
Watch this. What's number 6?
Gin and Juice.
All right, see? Not Like Us is a bigger LA song than Gin and Juice?
Yeah, I think that's just
Get the fuck out of here. Hell no.
You can see the people calling Maul out for rage baiting yet again throughout the whole internet when that clip dropped. Let me tell you a secret. He's right. Not Like Us being number 5 is a little fast for me. It's a little fast for me, especially when you don't have criteria, especially when you just updated the list from 2012, especially when it just conveniently just dropped right before The Game and YG's verses. Yeah, man, y'all are doing the most right now. But I do want to touch on this top 10. I just want to talk about the top 10 songs they have for the West Coast. And I would really like to hear you guys' reaction to these top 10 songs in the comments. Number 10, Warren G, Regulate. Number 9, Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood. Number 8, Cypress Hill, How I Could Just Kill a Man. Number 7, Ice-T, 6 in the Morning. Number 6, Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice. Number 5, and the most controversial pick, Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us. Number 4, NWA, Straight Outta Compton. Number 3, Tupac featuring Dr. Dre, California Love. Number 2, Ice Cube, Today Was a Good Day. And number 1, Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, Nothing But a G Thing. So when I look at that list, that tells me everything I need to know. You niggas didn't do nothing but say, I'm going to put Kendrick Lamar's song at number 5 and let's just roll with it. I don't know where y'all's train of thought came from. I don't know why you guys didn't just take the time out to sit down and actually redo a whole nother list, because I don't think it would have been that hard. You guys usually put out bullshit anyway. Why not put out another bullshit list, all brand new with new songs? And it just felt like they placed it there because it's very much prisoner of the moment. Now, I am not going to say that the Kendrick Lamar song, Not Like Us, is bad. I honestly feel like it should be its top 20, but number 5 this fast? That's a lot, bro. Y'all niggas are really fast tracking this song. Kendrick is still the guy right now. I get it, bro. Kendrick is the man. We still love Kendrick to this day. We're waiting on some new music that's coming from him. All of this shit. But when you guys take the time out to just be assholes and say, and just stick Not Like Us at number 5 without even giving any of the other lists some real thought. Again, they said it themselves. This is an updated list from 2012. I don't know the last time they put out 100 best songs out of LA. I hate this bullshit. It's stupid. But you guys know my history. I fall for it every time I read a list. I get pissed off every fucking time. But it just lets me know that not only is Maul rage baiting us, but Complex is rage baiting us too. They trying to put us out here trying to debate each other off of a list that's what? My math is bad. 2012 from 2026, that's what, 14 years? around about 14 years. I think that's what it is. Y'all niggas are not even doing the work. Y'all are lazy as fuck. I know it's a lot of layoffs going on and all of these different companies, but y'all are lazy enough to just say, let's just put this out here. Nobody will notice for real. They won't. Fuck it. Let's do what we do all the time. And now you got people out here going back and forth on the internet because of one, a podcaster who likes to hate on Kendrick because that is some real shit. And two, a list that y'all niggas really didn't think about redoing. Y'all just put it in the microwave, warmed it up, and said, here you go. It's bullshit. Complete and total bullshit. So while I was reading this list, I was thinking, what are my top 5 West Coast songs? So I'm going to give it to you guys. I'm going to give you guys my top 5 songs out of LA. Starting with number 5. Today Was a Good Day with Ice Cube. Great lyrics, great storytelling. Today Was a Good Day is one of those songs that just, you could tell that Cube was in his bag when he wrote this song. Number 4, Dedication, Nipsey Hussle featuring Kendrick Lamar. I hate the fact that people always go to All My Life, Been Grinding All My Life. Everybody uses that song and they never look at Dedication. To me, Dedication is one of Nipsey Hussle's best songs. It represented him very well, and it represented Victory Lap very well as well. Kendrick Lamar was just the cherry and the sprinkles on top of a great song. But Dedication is in my top 5 LA songs all time. Number 3, Put You on the Game. The Game. I could pick anything from the documentary and put it in the top 10 list of LA songs. The documentary is one of the most important West Coast albums ever. Argue with your mama. The Game put the fucking West Coast on his back, and I'll be damned if the shit didn't work. I just say Put You on the Game is because I think that's the song I listen to the most off that album. I love that song. I think it's one of the best songs, period, ever out of the West Coast. Number 2, To Live and Die in LA, Tupac. This was one of those songs where Tupac was explaining the life and how LA is at that time. To Live and Die in LA is like a time capsule because he's explaining the people, he's explaining the area, he's explaining just the way of life there. And it's a very vivid picture that nobody really thinks about. Because it came off of that Machiavelli album, I think people really downplay it. Because the Machiavelli album was full of hate and anger and revenge. But that was like one of the best bright spots that came from the Machiavelli album. Still listen to 7 Day Theory to this day. I love that album. And my number 1 pick for the best song out of LA. Nothing But a G Thing, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg. This is a generation ahead of The Game's documentary. This song was one of the most important West Coast songs and one of the most important hip hop songs of that time. This was when the West Coast really started to gain traction. This was the point. That was the point. G-Thing was a fucking phenomenon, bro. That song was everywhere. And the fact that Dre was on his own, Snoop was this new rapper that was out and was just, it was fresh. It was a different sound. We actually got to hear some better sampling, something that wasn't like super hardcore from New York type shit, but we got to hear more funk, more, musicality when it came to using samples. Dre just knew what the fuck to do, and Snoop just killed the rhymes. At one point in time, Snoop was a fire-ass rapper. But that song and the importance of that song being a hit and actually starting the West Coast Revolution in 92, if I'm not mistaken, it just set everything off all over again, bro. It's like the West started winning after that song. And I think it's just one of the most important songs Dr. Dre ever put out and one of the most important songs Snoop ever rapped on. So that's my top 5 best songs out of LA. What are your top 5? Hell, what's your top 10? If you love West Coast music, I would love to hear what your list is. Tell me in the comments. Let's have a conversation about it. But before I leave, I have a Cole's Corner. This Cole's Corner is dedicated to the new Kendrick Lamar snippet that has been floating around. For those who don't know, DJ Dahi is dropping an album. Kendrick Lamar is going to be one of the features on that album. It is a list of, the list is an all-star roster, my nigga. Like, he got everybody on there. But Childish Gambino decided to preview the song or preview that verse on his radio station. Right? So when the snippets start floating around, people started breaking down the verse. And that triggered me. It triggered me because what are we doing right now? Like, we can't wait for a full song. We don't even know if that's like the only verse on there. We don't even know if that's the full verse. It's a snippet of a song that's been floating around. I think the snippet is max a minute 25. And I seen the company man, which that's the person who really triggered me in this whole thing. Like, he's breaking down that one verse fully. He didn't really give it like a rating or anything like that. Like, he's just going into this super deep dive off of a snippet of a song that hasn't even been released yet. And it just made me think, like, are we that bored or are we that hard up for Kendrick Lamar material that we have to break down a snippet of a verse? No disrespect to what he does, because he's a reactor and that's a part of his gig. The gig is the gig. I understand that. But can we let the full song drop first before we start digging into, like, he went deep, like super deep into prayer and religion and just a lot of stuff. And I'm like, nigga, the whole song ain't even out yet. That might not even be the final verse. That might not even be the final verse, bro. I'm just in my head, when I look at the YouTube economy system and when I look at all of the different genres when it comes to making hip hop media content, I just see a lot of craziness go on sometimes. It's like, I get it, bro. Like, you want to be one of the first people to break this down and you want to go ahead and get it out there and get the tropes out there and all this other shit. But I'm like, why can't we just wait on the full song? And I also look at it as a disrespect to DJ Dahi too, because if we're all sitting up here just waiting on the Kendrick Lamar verse and not everything else on that album, that says a lot about us as people who listen to music. Also, it makes me feel like we're being very disrespectful to DJ Dahi, because if everybody's just waiting to hear a Kendrick verse and not really hear the whole album, that's kind of fucked up. This man is working his ass off to put together an all-star roster for a complete album, and we're just sitting up here dissecting one verse from one song out of God knows how many songs he's going to have on there. Now, I'm not saying that the company man is not going to listen to the full DJ Dahi album. I'm just saying, cool your fucking jets. Find something else to, like, break down, or just give us an opportunity to get the full project out. That's all I'm asking for. I don't think it'd be fair to DJ Dahi if everybody just goes to just get that one song when this man put the full body of work together to make us happy or to entertain us. That's all I'm saying. The Kendrick love is cool, but when y'all get to an obsession, that's when shit gets crazy and nuts and weird. And again, I understand what the company man does. He breaks down music. He's a reactor. He does all of this shit. I get it. The YouTube economy or the YouTube ecosystem asks him to do stuff like that. But I hope that we get a full review of DJ Dahi's album from people like the company man and other reactors instead of just waiting on one song. That's all I'm saying. Let's have a little bit of respect for the person who's doing this. That's all. It just triggered me. That's all I got for y'all today, man. Thank you for joining me for another episode. If you like what I do, because what I do is not very easy, pay me in a like, pay me in a comment, but support me with a subscription. Build this wonderful platform as big as the sun. I will catch you guys later on this week. Take care of yourself. I love you. Peace out.
She is kind of fucking with my money, but I meant everything I said, and I say it again.